Come check out the newest Primaris releases, all painted up.
Pocket bits.
What's up, hobby maniacs? Baer with you again today, checking out some dope painted Primaris miniatures by Warhammer Studios. Now, these got painted up for us a little while ago. Wasn't able to get to the recording of it. Had a little voice issue there about a week or so ago, but we're all good in the hood now. We can talk again, and there's no hurricane, so we're back on track, I guess, for the most part around the studio. Now, these miniatures here, you can see there's 3 of the new Primaris aggressors: the Redemptor Dreadnought, the 5-pack or the combat squad of the Reavers, the Primaris Captain, non-limited or non-exclusive, and the Primaris Librarian guy, man's right here. Again, painted by Warhammer Studios. Links down below. You can check them out. They do great work, super quick, always fun and exciting things going on there. Now, these were painted up with scale 75 paints. They're a little bit different than my initial Primaris from them, which you can see right here, are a little bit more blue. Just kind of experimenting with things, you know. Always trying to become better at the color ranges and such. Now, the bases are great features as well for these. This is Secret Weapon Minis. I want to say they're Ultra or Parade bases. I forget what they're called. They're really dope temple looking bases. And what they did was they marbled them out, which I think is like a really fresh feature for these guys. Unfortunately, or fortunately, I don't know how you want to look at it, is there wasn't enough to go around for these guys, and there definitely isn't one for the Redemptor quite yet. I think that's the 100 mil round right there. And then for the Reavers, obviously you're not going to go into battle behind enemy lines with like parade ground, so they're going to be a little bit darker, but they're still the same bases right there. So no big deal. I think they look pretty fresh. I mean, of course, putting them together. Another feature that I really like about Warhammer is that they'll magnetize the crap out of things for you. Believe it or not, these are actually magnetized between the Bolt Storm and the Flame Storm. There's a little tiny magnet. Let's see if we can get in there and show you that. Tiny magnet. Oh, and I don't know how I forgot, but of course we have the extra bits right there, the icons from Pop Goes the Monkey from Shapeways too, so you can see those definitely work very well on all of the Primaris Marines, regardless of you know, those are, they kind of reverse engineered or future-proof the shoulder pads to be able to go over all the different types. So if you get an icon pack, they'll work with your normals, but most definitely work with these guys here that don't have, is that the right? Yeah, that's right. That don't have the shoulder pads. Oh, there we go. Okay, so it locks in there, and there's a magnet in the back right there at the feed line as well. So they did a great job magnetizing the crap out of these guys. And of course, the Bolt Storm or the grenade launcher right up there doesn't have to be on there for this version of it with the flamers. They just kind of run around and burninate all the countryside and everything right there. So could kind of understand why they wouldn't have access to all of that firepower. But again, everything is magnetized exceptionally well. No glue clops, no drops of glue everywhere, anything like that. Very well done. The metals all look great. Very cool detail work right there. We'll go over the rules here in a second. The aggressors are what, $60 kit from Games Workshop. The 2 little HQs right there are also $35 each from Games Workshop. The combat squads for the Reavers are also $35. So Redemptor Dreadnought is a little bit more expensive. He's $65 new in box. And you can see here, he is an amazing kit. He's got all sorts of craziness going on with him, and of course he is fully magnetized. He can move as much as possible given the limitations of the kit. Now, Warhammer did some really cool fades right here and went back and hit all the edging and everything to really create that contrast that I think is really important. As anybody that airbrush, yeah, we can all airbrush, but it's going back and doing all that contrast and things that I think really kind of sets it apart for a lot of folks and makes your stuff look exceptional. Now, they are fully magnetized, like I said. Everything moves within the limits of the kit itself. These little things right here actually magnetize, so you can switch between the storm bolters and the grenade launchers. And then of course, this actually is kind of weird. It doesn't like sit in there, it just kind of flips up. But you could put a guy in there if you really wanted to Although I just think it's cool that the fact that it just kind of flips up there, and then the arm, you know, kind of twists. It's got that little G.I. Joe kind of kung fu grip a little bit, but not 100%. And then the Bolt Storm, actually it doesn't come with that normally. That's an upgrade points wise. Hold on 1 second. The grenades are, there we go. And then this will lock on. It comes with a heavy flamer normally, right? So you can see right there, there's a little magnet. Very easy to attach everything together. And then it's got the feed line that goes up in there. Of course I didn't do it right. It's all fun and games till you try to record something and hold the model at the same time. And then the grenade launcher too, if you want to go that route. All of that's in there as well. But really cool magnetization job here. I couldn't even imagine how difficult that is to do. And you can see up top, nice fades on all the gemstones and everything. Great application of decals. Probably using microsaw and microset. Back looks great, no skimping. And then of course this actually switches out too for the macro plasma cannon. And the magnets are actually up in the joint itself. Boom! There it is. Dope Redemptor Dreadnought. Put your hand up. There you go. Yeah, looking fresh right there. And then last but certainly not least are the Reaver Squad. Again, with the Shapeways. Pop goes the monkey. Ultramarine icons there. Everybody's all painted up, nice and kind of scary looking with their little glowy eyes and such. One with a grapnel launcher, all of the grav chutes equipped right there, and then the faces and everything. Great work by Hero Hammer Studio. Now we've shown these off on the Long War a little bit in one of our battle reports there. Now this is kind of the addition to the main army, which was a $300 battle report there. We had, you know, a pack of intercessors, these guys, and I think we showed them off in the past with the icons. So we had some intercessors, some hellblasters, the HQ guy, the Inceptor models. So all of them go together to form this army. And, you know, so far we're talking about a $500 army between all of the models and everything, all said and done out the gate. But I mean, realistically speaking, you know, we're not even anywhere near like 2K points, which is really cool to see if you're doing an escalation league. But also a little money value wise, kind of a little scary that you're gonna have to combo these guys up. But they're putting out new models every day, so it's kind of cool to see. So here's the captain. And of course, you know, you can sprinkle in Imperials and such. These guys are just, you know, not necessarily meant to be fielded as their own cohesive force. And with so many allies out there, it kind of behooves you to kind of pick and choose and be what I like to call a 40k fat kid and keep going back up to the 40k Boucher right there. You can see nice fades, nice airbrush fades on the Gladius sword. Librarian's a little bit easier to paint because I think the cape is in several different pieces there, but you can see it's all assembled expertly. Force sword has some nice glow to it, and the cape itself is looking fresh. I really like that head right there, kind of a Mephiston-y Lexicanum kind of looking head right there, and a little glow from casting out that power right there. Now, dollar wise, like I said, those two special characters are about $65 each. Now, when it comes to points and what these guys do, obviously the aggressors are pretty good on the tabletop. They're definitely going to hold down a quarter or a flank, perhaps, for you. When it comes to points, costs, and values, that box will get you a 3 models. Of course, they're 25 points each, but then when you factor in whichever version of weapons you want to do, like the grenade launcher and the Bolt Storm gauntlets, or if you want to go with the flame gauntlets, it doesn't matter, it's the same price for each. So those are going to be about 43 points each right there on those guys. Reavers are 18 points each, and you only have to pay for the grav chutes and the grapnel launchers if you want to take them. They may take them, so they don't have to. Grapnel launcher lets you kind of scale terrain and not have to measure vertically, so you can just kind of go horizontally and kind of hop over things. if they have them. Terra troops, enemy units subtract 1 from their leadership and grab shoots. They can just deploy more than 9 inches away from enemy models, so it's kind of like that deep strike mechanic, but not really right there. So in the terms of things, they're actually pretty decent on the tabletop and probably worth picking up a squad of your own for your Primaris Marines. Now they're right on point with what we're seeing for some of the Nurgle, like the Death Shroud that came out. Those guys were $60 as well, kit-wise. Now for the Redemptor, he's a little bit beefier, I want to say. He is 140 points, depending on how you equip him. Stock, he comes 207 with the heavy onslaught Gatling cannon, the heavy flamer, which is this right here. You can of course swap that out for the smaller version of the onslaught Gatling cannon, not the heavy one. It also comes with the Icarus rocket pod, 2 frag storm grenade launchers, and the Redemptor fist, which is actually 0. But man, that thing is sick. If you saw that battle report over on the Long War, you definitely know what I'm talking about right there. Now you can switch it out if you want to give them the macro plasma incinerator. It's a -5 points, so it's going to get you down around 202 right there. But not too bad for a dreadnought of his length and girth. Toughness 7, 13 wounds. Of course, that Redemptor fist is the truth at -2 strength, or excuse me, ×2 strength, -2 or -3 AP, and D6 damage to each attack. So he's swinging at strength 14 all day. So if anything, it's toughness 7. He's gonna be wounded on 2s, doing the Lord's work right there. As far as HQs go that we showed you, well, Librarian is a little bit more stock. He comes with or you have to pay for a force weapon at least. The Primaris guy is a little bit different. You don't necessarily have to take the force or the power weapon, but of course he is kind of armed with it, so I guess you should, question mark. I don't know. It is what it is right there. He's going to give you some bonuses to your rerolls, of course, being a captain. But let's take a look. So the Primaris captain just comes stock with a mastercrafted auto bolt rifle and a bolt pistol, frag grenades and crack grenades. You can pay for that power sword for 4 points, or you can upgrade to a master crafted stalker bolt rifle, which he appears to actually have right there. Not too bad, 87 points. And then the Librarian's going to know 2 powers, be able to deny 1. He's 93 points, plus his force weapon is 12, so he is more. He does have a psychic hood. Comes with your normal complement of frag and crack grenade, so not too bad. So the new recruits for the Primaris are definitely worth checking out. Now, of course, I don't have the chaplain. I don't have the apothecary. Did not get them painted up yet, unfortunately, but maybe that will be my next batch, as it doesn't seem to be too many Primaris releases on the horizon for these guys. Besides a tank, and I definitely got to get a tank for these guys, because, I mean, let's face it, they're not going to walk into battle, are they? No, they're not. No, they're not. So total value of all of the Primaris I have, including the new ones here, is, in MSRP, $455, and that is not counting the tank, the new chaplain, and the new apothecary, but that's basically one of each other squad that is in existence. It kind of gives you an idea of, if you're looking to pick up the new Primaris Marines, kind of how much they would run for at least one of everything. The tank, I think, is 80. Those 2 characters are 35 each, so now you're talking an extra 150, so you're already up around $600 for basically one of everything, at least in a 5-man format right there, 5-man multi-part kit format. So that's pretty much it for this one. I hope you enjoyed my little hobby showcase of my new Primaris Marines, painted by Hero Hammer Studio. Of course, you can check them out on the link below. They do great work, very fast turnaround, and sometimes they even hand deliver it. Gotta love that, right? All right. If you like these sort of features here on the channel, we do one hobby showcase or retro video, or at least try to, every week, depending if it's a holiday or such. So make sure you subscribe to this channel, turn on notifications so you can be the very first to like and comment on what we have to say here. And head on over to thelongwar.net. That's the home of the 8th edition battle reports and Army list downloads. Become a veteran of the Long War today.